Our best response now is to build resilience in our economy and society. That is the approach to the economic and social support in our resilience budget and the solidarity budgets announced yesterday. For our economy, we build resilience by ensuring that viable businesses are not permanently damaged, but instead are able to preserve their capabilities to recover. We support businesses with cost, cash flow, and credit. We also help affected workers bounce back and to make the best use of this downtime. For our society, we support our people by saving jobs, providing cash support, and easing their cash flow needs, especially of the most vulnerable. As Mr. Ong Teng Koon mentioned, we are seeking to ensure that all of us pull through this together and that we leave no one behind. To this end, while saving lives is our topmost priority, saving jobs come next. When many people are out of a job, there is a major cost to our individual lives and to society. For individuals, this means depriving them of the chance to gain experience and grow. Minister Josephine Teo set this out well when she shared why we started the SG United Traineeship Scheme for first-time job seekers and students who are graduating from our ITEs, polytechnics, and universities, as well as those returning from overseas. For companies, if workers are laid off, it means they'll become less competitive. Across the economy, the failures of many firms will disrupt the supply chain and drag the broader economy down later. Hence, we have provided high support for wages by extending and enhancing the job support scheme in the resilience budget, with a further significant enhancement for the month of April in the solidarity budget. Some members have also asked if we can do more to help, such as Ms. Yi Ping Siu, for the sports sector. Rest assured that we will continue to monitor the situation closely and do more as and when we need to save jobs. We can save more jobs if we have more resilient firms. To help viable firms stay resilient, we have provided support for the cash flow, costs, and credit. For this support to work well, it is crucial that all do their part, and I'm glad many have done so. On the cash flow front, the government can provide the support through schemes such as the Jobs Support Scheme. However, the Jobs Support Scheme will fail if firms take a short-term view, pocket the payouts in 1 month, and retrench the workers the next month. I urge businesses to take a longer-term view, retain and upskill your workers to accelerate your transformation for the future economy. In the same vein, the National Wages Council, with the support of the tripartite partners, has called for firms to reduce non-wage costs and tap government support before resorting to retrenchments. As Secretary General Ng Chee Meng and his union leaders emphasized repeatedly, firms should cut costs to save jobs and not cut jobs to save costs. Otherwise, firms would have to start from scratch in rehiring and retraining, and some may not be able to seize opportunities once the economy recovers. Ms. Jessica Tan and Ms. Sylvia Lim asked, how can we ensure employers receiving JSS payouts continue to retain workers? By design, employers who reduce their employees' wages or put their employees on no-pay leave during this period will have their JSS payouts reduced correspondingly. Conversely, employers who had already done so before the announcement can still bring their workers back onto the payroll. As long as you pay your employees' wages and make the necessary CPF contributions, you will receive the corresponding JSS payouts for the relevant months. MOM and the tripartite partners have released an advisory yesterday to guide employers on salary and leave arrangements that takes into consideration the substantial support from JSS. We'll continue to monitor the situation closely with our tripartite partners and take action where needed. NTUC Secretary General Ng Chee Meng and Mr. Liang Eng Hua asked if we can flow the assistance to firms even more quickly. Let me assure you that we are trying our best. Agencies like CPF Board and IRAS have redoubled their efforts working through nights and weekends to expedite the payouts. Firms on Giro and PayNow will now start receiving the first JSS payout next week, while those in checks will start receiving a week later. The Public Service is also working towards making faster payments to businesses supplying goods and services to the government. We have brought forward the scheduled due dates of more than 1,000 payment vouchers by an average of 11 days. This amounts to more than $600 million, benefiting close to 300 businesses, mostly SMEs. I encourage businesses that are in better financial positions to consider making similar gestures for their suppliers, many of which are SMEs. By keeping your supply chain intact, your company will also benefit. On the cost front, I'm heartened to see some property owners passing on the 100% property tax rebate fully to their tenants by reducing renters. Despite these commendable moves, I've received feedback from tenants that some property owners have yet to pass on the rebates to them. This is why we are imposing a legal obligation on property owners to unconditionally pass on to their tenants the full amount of the property tax rebate that is attributable to the tenanted properties. Some property owners commented that such an obligation penalizes them. But this move does not make property owners worse off. In fact, it staves off renter terminations and keeps their premises rented out. With a property tax rebate of up to 100%, property owners pay less or even no property tax for the year. Property owners should pass the full tax savings on to their tenants, as the property tax rebate is intended to benefit the tenants. As Chef William Loh put it, landlords and tenants need each other like a garden and its plants. When times are good, the garden flourishes with flowers. It is now time for landlords to keep tenants so that we can wait together for the sunshine to come again. With this move, I trust that all property owners will do your part, support your tenants, and give additional help to tenants who need it. The government is leading by example by giving a rental waiver of up to 3 months for government-owned properties. This helps about 36,000 tenants. On the credit front, I enhanced financing support for enterprises in our resilience budget and introduced further enhancements yesterday to manage the uncertainty in April as part of the solidarity budget. I'm glad that MAS, together with financial institutions, has introduced a package of measures to help SMEs with temporary cash flow difficulties. This is a concern raised by a number of members, including Mr. Murali Pillai, Mr. Saktiandi Supaat, Ms. Bhumiha, and Ms. Lim San San. I spoke about these measures in my statement yesterday. I'm glad to see the industry step up and come together to support their customers through this difficult time. I urge businesses to use the support on the 3 C's to keep things going while they do a stocktake and make adjustments for what could be a prolonged downturn ahead. I also urge businesses to use the support wisely and responsibly, even as we provide many forms of help in a broad-based manner.